Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
Hi, this is Devin Grayson, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Diggity dank.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Nightwing News. An old something new. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is.
Hello, I'm Kristen.
And today we will talk. I believe this the penultimate episode of Titans.
It is.
And some classic issues, some old issues. Justice League of America 91 and 92. What?
Yeah, from the 70s.
Early 70s, yeah. So it's way with two Dick Graysons for the price of one.
Ho ho! Heck yeah!
That's right, kids. All right.
You know, that actually reminds me, I would really like to see them do, now that Crisis has happened, but then they've kind of undone Crisis, I would like to see this Dick Grayson, who remained Robin, interact with Nightwing. That would be an interesting crossover.
Like
also, to have that Bruce Wayne interact with the normal Bruce Wayne, so that Bruce Wayne could be like, why'd you fire him? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that Earth too. They never fully brought that back because it's like after Crisis, they made the Justice Society, like the World War II era heroes, and like even when the multiverse came back, they kind of keep it that way, where the Justice Society is basically now like the 40s team and not like Earth 2. So, but yeah, that would be interesting. They need to do something like that. And Helena of Earth 2, yes.
Yeah. It would be interesting. Because, yeah, Bruce's life was different there.
Before we get to that, let's get to this Titans episode, because I want to hear your thoughts on this, because I have thoughts on this. How are you feeling?
Well, so I think that Tim's Robin outfit is the best of the three Robin outfits we've had in the series. I think the colors on it are the brightest, and so I like that.
Yeah, I'd say
you can actually tell it's red in some places.
Yeah.
So that was good. I felt like because I had seen the previews even before it was confirmed, I was like, oh yeah, this mission is a fake mission so that he can get training from Jason. And that was true. And I thought that was fine. And actually, I thought it was kind of cool that, and my friend who watches even commented on it, how the actor who plays Jason, his face is a great Jason face, and his attitude and his voice are a great Jason voice, but his body type is much smaller than the Jason in the comics, which I thought was kind of fascinating. I mean, it didn't bother me, but I thought it was kind of fascinating when those two were fighting, how Jason was so much smaller and more wiry than Tim. Because actually, I hadn't really realized it until he was fighting Jason, but Jay Lycurga is like reasonably buff, actually. I was like, oh, wow, he's way like more muscular than Jason. And my friend said she thought that was really cool that Jason, the kind of skinny dude, was such a good fighter, because she said a lot of times, it's like big burly dudes. And I was like, yeah, I thought that was cool, but also it was funny because it's basically the opposite of in the comics. But yeah, so that I liked.
I mean, he is a good Jason. I don't know. I just feel like he looks like really young, which I mean is good for Hollywood. If you're an actor in Hollywood, is good. If you look young, but.
Yes, yeah, that's what I said. I agree. I think his attitude and stuff when he's Jason, he's really spot on with that. I imagine the transition to Red Hood which is weird because Jason's the same person, and I don't understand how it happened, but comic book science. Cullen, I think is his name, or I forget his name. He's a really good Jason as Robin, and maybe he's not as grown up looking to be Jason as Red Hood, but like whatever.
Again,
he hasn't actually appeared that much as Red Hood in the series, so
yeah. I don't know. Just I don't know. I don't know if we're just getting to that point. I'm just like, I'm ready for the show to be over. But then we're just, how are we going to defeat Brother Blood? Oh, we're going to blow him up with a nuclear, a Starfire powered nuclear bomb created by Lex Luthor.
But it didn't work. Of course it didn't work. You knew it wasn't going to work because we have one more episode left.
Well, at least it didn't blow up to a planet like they thought it could. There was a chance of.
Right. So now Starfire is going to go personally blow him up, it seems like.
And do we have another death? I
mean,
no,
I don't think so. Well, I hope not. Who knows, I guess, because this show is so gritty. I feel like it's going to be some sort of thing because it says like to defeat him, you're going to die as who you are. I think it's going to be like her defeating Brother Blood saps all of her powers. So now she's like loses her powers and becomes just like a regular person. And then I think that blog will be like she and Dick get married and they ride off into the sunset and have babies and live happily ever after.
But is Connor dead?
Nah, he's Superboy. I mean, I know he died in comics, but
yeah. Because I'm like, oh, is this another Dawn of Troy death where it basically, he tried to kill him, he Brother Blood, he failed, and then it's just like, my turn, boom, dead.
Yeah, I don't know. See, a part of me is hoping, part of me is feeling like maybe since we had such a long gap in between the first part of the series and the second part of the series, a part of me is wondering if maybe they refilmed or readjusted some parts of the second half of the season, particularly maybe the last episode, because I'm thinking if they were going to get a fifth season, I feel like it's more likely that Connor would be dead because then them being sad and then going on some sort of journey to bring Connor back from the dead or Starfire dying, I feel like if there was going to be another season, there would be more likely that someone would die. Yeah. I feel like since the show is ending, they have no reason to kill somebody off because you don't need something like that to...
They don't need that, but this show has always been dark. Like that speech Dick gives Connor is like, oh, she's like, oh, I've done things Titans shouldn't do, and Dick's like, oh yeah, the darkness is always there. And I'm like, the Titans are supposed to be this. They're supposed to be later,
right? But not in this one.
Nope. I'm like,
not in this one.
I'm like, they get dark sometimes, but Doom Patrol adds so much humor. I almost feel like Doom Patrol's lighter than Titans. I'm like, no, it should be the opposite. It's
right. They just made Titans too serious and too Batman-like, which on the one hand, I would argue that often too many Batman things are too serious. But it depends. But that can work better with Batman, depending on what you're doing. But it does not work as well with the Titans.
Yeah, and again, it's like with Nightwing, you should, he shouldn't be as dark as Batman. That's the whole point.
Right, and I think it particularly doesn't work because while I personally do not like a Batman that is super, super dark, like there are a lot of dude bros that do like a Batman that is dark like that, but I don't feel as though there are Titans fans that wanted a dark version of the Titans.
No, yeah, I don't think so.
Because everybody universally seems, at least the people I've talked to, which granted is not the whole world, but if people don't totally hate the show, they seem to say the casting was well done and they picked good actors to play the characters, but the writing is just bad.
Yeah, again, like we said, there's always a point. It seems like the writing is just, and again, don't try to please the dude bros, because that's how we got the Snyderverse.
No, I mean, Phil, that's a great motto to live by. Don't try to please the dude bros. In every situation, don't do that, and you'll probably end up doing what is right.
Never go full Snyder.
Yeah, that's another. You will be on the side of truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Yeah, but I was like, oh, when they made that virgin sacrifice, that was intense.
Oh yeah.
She was definitely leading that woman on. Like, when she first said, she's like, will you offer yourself to him? And I was watching it and I was like, does she mean in a sexy way or in a deathy way?
Well,
she wanted her to think it was a sexy way, and then she killed her.
Exactly.
But I did think that was pretty impressive when he killed his mom by stabbing her with the horn. I was like, dang, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That was intense.
Or he drank the guy's blood.
Okay, yeah, that was kind of freaky. Okay, when they said something about Shimmer sends regards, who's Shimmer? I feel like I'd heard that name before, but I forgot.
Did we see Shimmer in this season? I mean, wasn't that one of was the villain, like a villain in the old Titans comics?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we'd seen Shimmer in the but I guess it just sounded, I was like, I feel like Shimmer is someone that because some of the people, like that random Italian witch that showed up, I don't remember her from from the comics, but I felt like Shimmer was somebody from the, like, I don't know, friend with Jinx or something.
Oh, in the comics, yeah, she is a villain. The older sister of fellow supervillain Mammoth. She's a founding member of the Fearsome Five.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, she was in the second season of Titans?
The one with Deathstroke?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait. She makes a cameo appearance in the Titans episode Rose. So, yeah, I don't think she played a big part in the show. So,
indeed not.
And she makes non-speaking appearances in Young Justice as a member of the Light. So, always a henchwoman, never a supervillain.
Someday, Shimmer. Someday. Keep on dreaming, girl.
So yeah, I mean, I'm ready for the. I mean, the Titans has been good, but I think I'm ready for it to end, and hopefully maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's been all right.
Yeah, I hope we get something, a lighter Dick Grayson with or without the Titans somewhere for down the road here.
Yeah, I think absolutely the tone of the show was all wrong.
Oh yeah, I remember when we got the trailer before season 1 even started, and it was just Dick in the Robin costume, F Batman.
Yeah, which, like, that was a funny meme. But yeah, it didn't really. Yeah, if this were an Outsiders series, particularly if it were a Batman in the Outsiders, as opposed to that one brief iteration of Outsiders that was led by Roy and Dick, although apparently it was Dick that should have been Jason, which would have made knowing that, it makes way more sense. Now, this tone would have been more appropriate, but it just does not really work for the Titans.
Yeah, no.
It's too murdery.
Exactly. I'm like, I know a lot of live action superhero stuff does this, where they have to, like, kill the villain at the end, but I'm like, the Titans shouldn't be like that. Well, not every time.
Right. And I mean, the thing is that's directly wrong to the source material.
I know. I'm like, shouldn't they at least try to talk him down first?
It's like, if you want to have a movie where the villain dies, why don't you just make it, like a Die Hard random action movie? It doesn't have to be Batman.
I know. Just it's like in a Batman movie. Why does the Joker have to die? It's like movies.
So I would say I'm gonna go with, and I don't know if this is a prediction so much as wishful thinking. I don't want anyone to die. I think that killing Brother Blood is not gonna kill Starfire, but it's gonna affect her powers in some way. So maybe she won't be as powerful. Because, like I said, when they had the prophecy, it says it will be the end of who you are right now. It does not say you will die. And as soon as they said that, she was like, I'm gonna die. I'm like, no, you're not. Didn't you listen to the prophecy? Don't you understand how this works?
Her heart will stop for 30 seconds and then start back up. Yeah.
And then I'm hoping, since they had that big gap, that maybe there's like something at the end that maybe that's why we had the big gap, because they had to add it on. So maybe it'll be an extra long episode.
Yeah.
Where they're like epilogue and we see them all living bright, jolly futures. It'll be the one shining moment of happiness where it's not darkness, and they'll be like, now the series is over.
Yeah, because that's like I said, that's what they did with Stargirl. Like at the end, they kind of tacked on a thing where it's like, I forget, it was like 10 years or more later after that. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and it was like, everything's great. I mean, maybe great is a bit of a stretch because they live in the DC universe, and there's always going to be supervillains.
But it'll be a thing where there's like 10 years in the future, there's like a new Titans, and like Tim's like in charge or something. And again, any problems the show has, like I've said it before, the show is a masterpiece as Shakespeare compared to the whatever you want to call it that we call Gotham Knights.
Yeah, I haven't been watching that one.
I cannot watch that without like something else, unless I'm like on the computer or on my phone. I cannot watch that show just like the only thing I'm doing.
No, it would be funny. I mean, it would be terrible, but it would be funny simply because we ripped on it so much. If it was like 10 years from now, Dick's back in prison because remember, he was convicted and just randomly walked out of the prison, and you can't do that.
We've already forgotten about that. Although, I mean, he is, he's the quote unquote son of a billionaire. So,
yeah, that's true. Bruce paid to make it go away. Maybe Oracle hacked in and erased it.
Rich people don't go to jail for a long time. Come on.
I mean, yeah, that's true. This is America.
Exactly. It's the most believable thing.
I know what I was thinking.
The most believable thing I've seen on this show.
Yeah, actually, when you put it that way, you're right.
All right.
Do you have any predictions or hopes and dreams for the last episode?
I hope I get a happy ending for people. I mean, I don't know. That death for Connor could have been permanent. I don't know. I don't know if that was them like saying, "Oh, he tried to take out Brother Blood. He redeemed himself in the end." But it just like, I don't know. It just seemed like a throwaway death, kind of. If that was his death.
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, he's Superboy. He's super.
Yeah, but Brother Blood, if it's supernatural, I mean, Kryptonians are just as vulnerable to the supernatural as anybody. So,
lies.
Oh, did he kind of call Dick a father figure? Because he's like, I was trying to, I was doing it for Superman and Lex and you.
I know, that's true. Dick does have big dad energy in this version of Titans.
No, literally, this is the character we could say he has big dick energy. Let's coin that. Oh, we coined that here, internet. Big Dick Grayson energy. Yes. Nightwing news, April 8th at 9:42 p.m. Yes. It's on video. It'll live forever. All right. You want to talk these issues?
Let's do it.
Talking about big Dick Grayson energy. We got 2 for the price of 1.
Whoa. There's a disruption in the force right there.
Exactly. All right. So I have synopses for these. All right. So 2-parter First part, Justice League of America, number 91 from August 1971. Before anyone here was born, so. Earth, the Monster Maker. Another truism. All right, writer Mike Friedrich, penciler Dick Dillon, inker Joe Giela, and editor Julia Schwartz. On a joyride between dimensions, an alien boy called Aram and his symbiotic pet Teppy are flung into the separate worlds of Earth 1 and Earth 2. They must be reunited or both will die, but the environment of Earth changes both into rampaging monstrous menaces. Flash has already been injured in an encounter with Teppy, while the Earth 2 Green Lantern falls prey to Aram, who takes his power ring, sensing it can reunite him with his pet. Joined in the battle by the Robins of both Earths, the Justice League and Justice Society form two new teams that deal with the threats. Green Lantern joins the two Hawkmen and the two Robins against Aram, while Flash of Earth 2 teams with the two Supermen and the two Atoms against Teppy. While the second group successfully captures Teppy on Earth 2, Robin of Earth 1 is injured in the struggle, and Aram finds an ally in the macabre Solomon Grundy. Yeah. Oh boy, I wonder why the second team was successful. They had both Supermen with them. Huh.
Feels like the deck is stacked.
I'm like,
the deck is stacked.
Why would you split up the Supermen? I don't know.
Yeah, it did seem. Yeah, it is kind of weird. They do send like both of the, because they put both of the Robins together too.
And both Hawkmen, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, maybe we don't put both of our big guns on one, on one team. And again, we had to come up with the Aquaman excuse for why, Robin was here, but Batman's not here.
Yeah, well, oh yeah, wasn't Batman taking yeah, because he has Flash.
Yeah, well, yeah, then him and Green Arrow have to run off to something else, so.
Some sort of billionaires thing.
Well, yeah, but I don't think plus, I don't know if the story works because any member of the Justice League or Justice Society starts giving Robin crap, Batman's gonna be like, hey, stop it. He's proven himself. And again, it's like, it's a one thing for Earth 1 Dick Grayson, but Earth 2 Dick Grayson, he's like, I took the dude retired. I took over for him.
I mean, isn't Earth 2 Dick Grayson has already been to law school and is a practicing lawyer and is soon to become an ambassador? It's not like the dude is 18 years old.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Hasn't he been like Robin for at least a decade or two? I'm like,
at least, yeah. I mean, at this point, Earth 1 Robin's been Robin at least a decade.
Yeah, so because Earth 2 Robin's even like, I'm a member of the Justice Society. Why are you giving me crap?
Right. Lazy writing, I guess.
Well, again, it's just comics of this era too, just leaning on their story tropes. But I mean, I could see like them like giving hassling Earth 1 Robin, and then Earth 2 Robin steps in and be like, no, trust me. If anyone knows, I know, he's a capable hero. Right. And then
I suppose first thing we should discuss though is, what do we think of Earth 2 Robin's outfit?
Oh, with the like basically the yellow cape and that Batman suit. I don't like that.
I'll zoom in. There we go. If you're watching this on Facebook, ta-da, there it is.
Yikes.
Robin, Richard Grayson. See, he's so grown up, he doesn't even go by Dick anymore. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't like that costume. The Silver Age was quite the opposite of the modern age, because basically now anytime like Dick takes over for Batman, it's like he's wearing a Batman suit. You're hiding that it's not the same Batman. Or Silver Age, they're just like, yeah, there's a new Batman. Deal with it.
Right, yeah. Well, the Silver Age was all about legacy. I mean, it's in the Silver Age that they're like, hey, what if Batman was Robin first? And then they just like totally rewrote the origin, and it's like, what? That doesn't really make sense.
Or like that, or like those future stories where like Dick takes over as Batman, and then like Bruce and Selina's son takes over as like Robin, and they have the big like Roman numeral 2s on their chest and stuff. And
yeah.
Makes no sense.
Well, because that's also during Earth 2, I think, where they have that story where it's like, oh, Batman wasn't the first Batman. His dad was. He dressed up like this Batman for a costume party or whatever. That's goofy stuff.
That might have been Earth 1, but that might have been pre-Crisis. Oh my God, there's so much. Well, again,
Well, yeah, I mean, all of this I think was like on the main Earth pre-Crisis because they were just obsessed with legacy. So everybody was a legacy. So they were like, oh, Batman didn't invent the Batman costume. He remembered his dad wearing it. And like, oh, he learned detective stuff by wearing the Robin costume and going and learning from that, like Dick Tracy wannabe guy.
I mean,
that does not really make sense.
I've kind of had that talk with other people on the shows where, let me get your opinion. It's like when they add stuff like that to the past, do you like that? Or does that seem to like, I don't want to say cheap.
It depends on what it is. I will not universally say I like it or dislike it. And I have to take it on a case-by-case basis. But that one with the Robin, I thought that one was particularly stupid, and I super didn't like it because then it just doesn't make sense. And it takes away from Robin being anything special that Dick helps make up, which is kind of what. So I do think it's good that they retconned that retcon out of the way.
Yeah, stuff like that where it's just basically like, oh yeah, Dick wasn't the first Robin, so basically he didn't build the thing, it's like Bruce did. It's just
it's like trying to make Bruce, it's almost like trying to make Bruce less of a jerk for firing him. And it's like, the solution to that is just to not have him fire him.
Exactly.
Why don't you retcon that hot mess instead of retconning things that don't need to be retconned?
And just the more stuff they like add as like prequels and like, all stuff like that. It kind of, I don't know, kind of makes the universe seem smaller sometimes. And I'm just like, we don't.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's why I said you kind of have to do it on a case by case basis because everybody can't be meeting all of these people.
Yeah. Like they've done stuff on the Marvel side, and I'll give you an example. This hasn't happened, but just as an example, like if we got an Untold Tale where it's like, oh, Thomas Wayne, before he died had met Ra's al Ghul and stuff, and it's
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they've done that. I think sometimes in the movies they've done that where the Waynes were killed by a mob, like for mob reasons, right?
Yeah.
To the mob. And I mean, on the one hand, I'm like, that's fine. That doesn't upset me hugely. But on the other hand, I feel like part of the point is that his parents were killed randomly.
Yeah.
And that's why it's messes Bruce up so much and why he takes this path to like, I have to fight all crime. Because if it was just my parents were killed by the mafia, he doesn't need to become Batman to get rid of the mafia. I mean, he knows the enemy. There's plenty of things you can do.
Or if you actually name check the guy, like, oh, Joe Chill, it's like, once Joe Chill's gone, it's like, well, you could see this guy retiring. But yeah, I like the randomness where it's like he never, like, if he doesn't know who it is, he never knows if he caught the guy or not, or or if the guy.
And that it wasn't some like big orchestrated hit or whatever.
Because I'll do that with like the Court of Owls and stuff too, sometimes too. Yeah. Oh my God, but that Silver Age story where, I guess I don't know if Batman tells him, but Joe Chill finds out that Batman's Bruce Wayne, and he basically created Batman by killing his parents. So he runs to his mob buddies and it's like, I created the Batman. I know who he is. But before he can tell them, they shoot him dead because they're like,
thanks a lot. Yeah. I know. Yes, I remember that one.
They can't even wait to hear him say, I know who it is. I don't care. Shut up.
Like, we hate you. Yeah. I mean, that one I thought was actually a little bit funny.
Yeah. Here, Batman, here he is.
Yeah. So, yes. No, you're right. It really just kind of depends on on what they do. Because like when they added it in that Tim happened to be at the circus that night. Like that's not a big thing. Like yeah, the hundreds of people were at the circus that night. So that doesn't strain your belief that like, this kid who lives in Gotham might have been at the circus. Like, what shocker. But then is stuff like, I know this is not a Star Wars podcast, but I was annoyed in Star Wars when they had to make it so that Rey was somehow related to Palpatine or whatever. That definitely made the universe smaller. It was like, everybody has to be related.
Well, that's a movie trope, and I mean that's one Star Wars has done almost from the beginning. Because I mean, did you have to make Luke Vader's son? I mean, and again, we do that once, but then you got to do it again where Rey's related to somebody, and yeah,
right. And I did not think they had to do that.
Again, it makes the universe smaller when all these characters are related to each other in some, fashion.
Right.
Because not only is Luke Vader's son, but Leia is his daughter, and it's just like,
right. At least I will say, with that. So yeah, that was a couple things that like I liked back when we did it, and that short Nightwing, the very first when he gets the new suit for the first time. That Nightwing miniseries where he goes over and it turns and he's like, so my parents did see something, but no, it was just a random thing. I liked that. I do find that interesting when they do that. And I do think they did a pretty okay job with the Court of Owls in that they didn't change it that Dick's parents the Court of Owls, they didn't change it that the Court of Owls killed Dick's parents. It was again, Dick's parents were collateral damage and kind of regular crime, because I feel like that's important that it needs to be that kind of mirroring with Bruce, because even though I love decent Dad Bruce that adopts lots of kids, I really feel like, because I see sometimes people do it in fan fiction, and like whatever, it's fan fiction, you can do what you want. But my belief is that Bruce would not have it's after Bruce has a kid that he's like, I like kids and I want more kids. I don't think he would have started adopting kids if it weren't for him being there at the circus and seeing Dick's parents die in front of him in a similar way. I mean, not exactly the same, but in a similar way. Dick's experience so closely mirroring Bruce is what makes him want to take the kid in, and then he likes taking kids in. But I feel like if his first experience was a kid was Jason trying to steal the tires off the Batmobile, I don't think he would have ended up taking him in if he hadn't already taken another kid in first. Yeah. That's my thinking, because I think that Bruce would not, I think he didn't really want a kid, or he didn't think he wanted a kid, and it was because of that powerful emotional connection. He was like, I can help this kid. And then he's like, actually, I can help other kids too. It doesn't have to be just kids whose parents have died in front of them in a striking similarity to my own parents. But I don't think he would have gotten there if he didn't have the this is my life all over again.
But again,
what do you think, Phil?
That was an old Silver Age trope too, or even Golden Age, when it comes to Dick. But it's, where it's like, his origin mirrors mine, because I mean, basically Barry Allen and Wally West. Wally gets his powers in the exact same manner as Barry, which is a lightning bolt comes through a window, hits chemicals, and gives it, and showers him with these electrified chemicals again. Now that is,
that is quite similar.
Yeah.
On the other hand, though, I would say, since that's such a freak scientific accident, it kind of makes sense that it would have to happen the same way.
Yeah, but it's like, what are the chances? But at least until Mark Waid invents the Speed Force. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, all right, that one's a little bit. But sadly, your parents being murdered is not nearly as uncommon as that.
especially in Gotham.
Mm-hmm. Especially in the 40s when OSHA regulations are not what they are now.
Yeah. And again, especially in the 40s, like no security cameras or.
Yes, I do think. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think that in terms of it actually happening, yeah, they were just going with what's new. Well, they needed Dick to not have parents because they needed him to live with Bruce.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, we can't have him suddenly have an illegitimate child pop up because.
Damien. Yeah.
Yeah, but you could not do that in the 40s.
Oh,
Batman is
no.
a good guy. No. So it's like he can't get married and have a kid because we don't want that. So how else are you going to get a kid? How else are you going to get an 8-year-old? Oh, conveniently his parents die and he needs someone to take him in. Perfect. I mean, also a similar thing happened to Dick Tracy, so they ripped that off. I'm just saying, I think in the long arc, I think it also makes sense. I think that Bruce, were he a real person, that he needed that. Batman the character needs his first kid to mirror his own life, to make him kind of.
Yeah.
I think it's almost a knee-jerk reaction for him to take Dick in, and then he sort of gets it together as he goes along later on.
And again, that would become the trope, just the kid sidekick. I mean, as we saw with all the Titans, and even again around the time Dick, right after Dick becomes Robin, we get Bucky.
That's right. Well, how are you going to get the kids to read it? You got to give them.
Bucky becomes Captain America's partner. Yeah. So.
Anyway, all right. So that was like a lot of me talking about other things.
That's all right.
But,
I like this stuff brings up, strikes common.
So. I think we agree. Original Robin costume, even though it doesn't have pants, definitely superior to the Earth 2 Batman with a Robin symbol on it. Costume.
All right, let's get to
this. I will say, though, that I was annoyed, of course, how they have Earth 1 Robin being like, these guys are talking it over. I'm going to take action. And he immediately starts punching the alien. I was like,
I know. I'm like, Dick's smarter than that. Come on.
It's an overused trope of like, the young person is impulsive and doesn't think things through.
Exactly. All right, let's get to the second issue because there is another costume that comes up here. Yes. All right, Justice League of America, number 92, September 1971. Solomon Grundy, the one and only, by the same team. While Solomon Grundy routs the combined forces of the JLA and JSA heroes, Robin has his damaged uniform replaced temporarily with a new and different costume supplied by his Earth 2 counterpart, designed by, quote, a costume designer named Neil Adams. His ring returned, Earth 2's Green Lantern teams with his namesake to overcome Grundy and imprison him in his swampland home. Aram is finally captured on the verge of death, and the two Robins deduce that he can be saved by being brought together with his pet. Green Lantern brings the two together, and Aram and Teppy are then retrieved by their extra-dimensional companions. As the heroes part company, Robin of Earth 1 contemplates keeping his new outfit. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Batman, Aquaman, and Green Arrow are about to walk into a trap. Anyway, so what did you think of that costume that Earth 2 gave Earth 1?
Also bad.
Yeah, but it's better than that one Earth 2 was wearing. I'm like, why isn't he wearing this red one?
That's true. I do think, yes, the full Robin costume is better than the Batman with the Robin on it costume, but it's not as good as the original.
That red one could be reworked, though. I mean, it needed something more, like maybe in the upper body and stuff, like more design, more lines or something. But it you could rework that Robin costume.
Mm-hmm.
But
it does have the benefit of covering you, of being a Robin costume, but covering you up.
Yes, it has pants and like there's more of a mask instead of just a domino mask. Yeah. And again, honestly.
But sorry, that original Robin costume, I really like it. It's pretty epic.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous. That's why I like it so much.
So I wonder, was that the whole point of him being impulsive and getting his suit ripped up, or was it just the like? Well, they even called it out. They're like, readers, what do you think? Should he keep wearing?
Right? Yeah. Which I think this is the same period. I mean, it might be a couple years later. Yeah, it has to be a couple years later. But they also offer this up in one of the Batman families. They have that spread of like, should we give Robin a different costume? But like all of the other options were terrible.
Yeah, I mean, they should have just kind of like stayed with the original costume, but maybe just added long pants somehow.
So Tim's costume.
Well, no. Keep exactly the way Dick's costume looked. I mean, even down to the boots and everything, but just add pants to it instead of bare legs. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of what they've done in World's Finest, right? Because doesn't he still sort of have the like boots that are kind of pixie, like they're pointy at the back? But he put pants on. Also, it's so funny. Like he's supposed to be all injured, but like that's all that happened.
All you see is like a ripped costume. That's it. I know.
Yeah, all that happened is that they ripped a big hole in his shirt.
I mean, it's just you can see skin, undamaged skin underneath. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I was just looking at that.
And then we have some cringy trying to be hip dialogue. Right on, brother. Oh, so your world has that expression too. Guess you can't have everything cool. This is right up there with like Wonder Chick.
Well, again, it's 71 again, so.
Indeed it is.
Hold on. I was gonna share the picture of that Robin costume from the current World's Finest series. So hold on, yeah, because see, this is hold on. Now this is how you update a Robin costume. See.
Yeah.
It keeps the spirit of it. Yeah.
Still with the yellow cape, with
basically add the pants. Yeah, because the boots are kind of still there. Yeah. You even have like the little buckles on the chest, because like even that Earth 2 costume even had, like I said, it was so plain on the, on top.
Yeah, that's right. He does have like the laces kind of on his original.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, aside from, I don't really think the other costume is an improvement, but whatever. I of course like this one better because the Robins they're not being impulsive. Instead, Robin is like, wait a minute.
And we get a little interaction with the two of them.
Yeah, he's like, wait, this guy, alien's crying like a baby. He's like, wait a minute, it's a kid. And then Hiram sense that Robin is like, wait, you need someone to be nice to you. So then he goes in for a hug. He says, he flings himself into Robin's arms, helplessly clings to this warmth of newfound friendship. And so, yeah, it's because Robin can reach out, give him a hug. And they're like, he's getting weaker. And then the other Robin's like, something's wrong. And then, yeah, young Robin. A rare talent provided by common training from the two greatest detectives of two worlds. Wait a minute. You guys are missing the boat. This boy is dying. Oh! 3 cheers for the Robins who put it together. Where would the superheroes have been without this detective on their team?
Exactly.
Let that kid die.
Again, you get these big group scenes that they dump people down sometimes. I'm like, shouldn't Superman have figured this out?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Yeah, I mean, actually, now that you say that, I mean, everyone's kind of an idiot in this story.
Yeah, again, especially this era, we wanted to boost Robin up, so we kind of dumbed everyone else down. Yeah.
I mean, even Robin was like, in the first version, like, oh, let me just go in swinging. You're like, that's a dumb move. Why are you doing that?
Exactly.
And then, yeah, Hawkman's like, you're a kid when you. It's like, everyone is an idiot.
I mean, basically, we just wanted to do a Robins team up, and we needed an excuse to get Earth One Dick in that costume. We didn't even get to take like a cool tour of the Earth 2 Batcave or anything.
Yep.
But yeah, with Superman and Batman, the line is kind of blurry because since they started in the Golden Age with the Justice Society, but then it's like by the 50s, we have a new Flash, a new Green Lantern, so it's like the line kind of blurs where like Earth 2 Superman and Batman end and like Earth 1 Superman and Batman starts.
Yeah. I did also like, though, Earth 2 Robin getting in there. In union, there is strength. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Labor represent. Even though I'm not sure if that was the intention. I don't know. But that's a labor slogan. So I was like, yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's my only nitpicks is like they kind of dumbed everyone down, and then two, it's like
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. They totally did.
we didn't get in. I mean, again, it was hard because there were we had these aliens and we had so many superheroes here, but it's like we could have used more interaction between the two Dick Graysons. So
yeah. It was saved from, as far as this podcast is concerned, I would say, being a total travesty by the Robins figuring out,
yes.
Yeah, this kid's dying. We need to reunite him with his pet for that. But yeah, otherwise, because yeah, you're right. Everybody doesn't look that great in this.
Yes.
But yeah, that is also funny. He's like, oh, maybe I'll just keep this costume. And they're like, what do you think, readers? Readers must have said no.
And we randomly just threw in Solomon Grundy for the hell of it too.
Hey, yeah, why not? I also find it interesting the little differences. So it's like, okay, the two Green Lanterns are two different people, so
yes.
Obviously they look different. But the Hawkmen, are they the same person?
This is so complicated. There have been so many retcons. I think at this point they might be. Yeah, it might. Or no, I'm trying to. They might not. We might already be at the point where like Earth 2 Hawkman was just like an archaeologist, and Earth 1 is from the planet Thanagar. So.
Okay. It's just funny because I don't know, for whatever reason, it made sense to me. The Green Lantern costumes are actually reasonably different.
Yes.
But then the Hawkmen, it's like the pants and everything is the same except what they wear on their head. And then the one guy has the sweet hawk thing, and the other guy's just like wearing a yellow cap. So that seems weird.
I know.
And then the Atom, it's the Atom that can shrink and grow, and then the other one is just like a dude wearing an Atom costume.
Yeah, he basically is just like, I think he's super strong, but yeah, he doesn't like shrink. Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
it's almost like the Earth 2 versions. Well, not almost. It's overall, obviously, the Earth 2 versions are less superpowered, and it almost makes them feel like they're a budget version.
Like the Atom and Hawkman?
Yeah, and even what's the difference between does the Green Lantern, Alan Scott, when he was invented as Green Lantern, was there the whole like Oa thing in the Guardians as well?
No. It was like his whole thing. It was more like mystical almost, and like later on, like even like when he got folded into Earth 1, he really wasn't part of the Green Lantern Corps. They were like, oh yeah, he discovered this ring that was basically like a prototype that was basically created from something called the Starheart. But yeah, it kind of has like a more mystical background and stuff. So
Okay, yeah. I feel like that's the thing, is that a lot of this, and then again, like we were saying, Hawkman's not from Thanagar, he's just an archaeologist. Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it's not as complicated. It's just like it's dudes that.
yeah, and again, once they fold everybody in the Earth One, it gets. I mean, the Hawkmen get so confusing, or eventually Jeff Johns just has to write a story where, like, oh yeah, Hawkman and Hawkgirl just basically just keep getting reincarnated since ancient Egypt. Every time they die, they just come back reincarnated as someone else, but they're still Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Well, so they're like Doctor Who.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it might be Carter Hall from Earth, or it might be Qatar Hall from Thanagar, but they're still Hawkman no matter what.
Got it. And do they know that, or do they have to realize it?
At first they didn't, but after that story, it's like, yeah, then he realizes he was being reincarnated and stuff. Yeah.
Got it.
Huh.
Good times.
All right. Anything else?
I think that covers it.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna have kind of more of the same, because next week, well, we'll have the final episode of Titans.
That's right.
And we'll do more Earth 2 Robin, Justice League of America 123 and 124.
Alrighty.
So, again, more of the same. A Titans episode and two issues of Justice League of America.
All right.
And then in 2 weeks will be the new issue, Nightwing 104. And then World's Finest will probably be out that same week. So,
yeah, does Titans come out this month or not? No, next month. This is the last one. This wraps up the Titans with Dick and Nightwing.
oh,
I think.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that one too. I think so. Because remember, we're also getting that basically that Teen Titans book from Mark Wade, the same team.
Oh yeah, which I guess it's good because it will save me money, but I was a little bit sad that it's only a 6-issue miniseries. I thought it was another ongoing.
Yeah, but
like, maybe if it sells well, they'll make another one.
So at least for a while, we'll have 2 Titans books with Dick Grayson in it.
Yeah. Crazy.
Oh, wait a minute. Titans #1 from our good friend Mr. Tom Taylor. Maybe it might be out next week.
Snap.
Diggity dang.
Indeed.
I
guess well.
All right, I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to hold that a week and do it with Nightwing 104, or should we cover that next week?
Well, I don't know. Let's read it.
Okay.
And discuss, and then we'll decide.
You know what? Doesn't so that comes out the week before Nightwing 104, but doesn't Nightwing 104 wrap up that Titans arc? So shouldn't Titans #1 come after Nightwing 104?
No, yeah, that's what I was thinking. But
again, comic companies, they've been known to do that too. To put out one that takes place after the one that hasn't been out yet. So, I don't know. And then let me see, where's that World's Finest Teen Titans?
Yeah, you're right. It says it's coming on 16 May.
Yeah. So we may even have a new issue for you guys before that. And then hold on, I'm looking up that World's Finest Teen Titans starts July 11th. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, kids. So yeah, new stuff's coming. More new Dick Grayson content coming at you. All right. So yes, send us all the thoughts. Email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all Capes and Lunatics episodes, social media, merchandise, links to the Patreon. Please subscribe. Our YouTube channel, please subscribe. Everything's at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. And the most important mission, I don't care if you choose to accept it or not, go pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder on Amazon right now. Again, knowledge never goes out of style.
You make a fabulous marketing director, Phil.
Why, thank you. Thank you. So, yes. Again, especially like I say, especially if you're fans of Dick Grayson, Nightwing, this show, yes, go pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder on Amazon. Help fund Kristen's summer vacation. All right. Thank you for joining us. Again, next week, the finale of Titans. Some more Earth 2 Robin.
I wonder if I'll be wearing a different outfit, because didn't Earth? I feel like Earth 2 Robin's worn a couple different outfits as well.
Oh yeah, because then he had like the high collar. Yeah, because he might switch.
Yeah.
He switched back to. I mean, that's why I thought he wears one closer to that one he gave Earth 1 Dick Grayson. So.
Yeah, I feel like he's had a couple different.
I forget if that's the point he does it or not, but yeah, eventually. Well, eventually Earth 2 Batman.
We'll find out next week.
Yep. All right, kids. I don't care if you're from Earth 1 or Earth 2. Join us next week. Join us same wing time.
Same wing channel.
The Nightwing News. Biggest source of Nightwing news in the multiverse.